Hello, Aaron Cooberates, personal trainer at Functional Aesthetics EC, where we're helping average guys perform better in their lives inside and outside the gym. In today's video, I'm going to be talking about a more advanced method for growing stronger called wave loading. So it's more prevalent in powerlifting communities, typically because it's really trying to help you break through those sticking points to remove that really heavy poundage. And as a result, the rep schemes are going to be a little bit lower reps and heavier weight, obviously. Now, what makes wave loading a little bit different is that you are basically, so like in a typical workout, let's say you have you have your sets and you have your reps, right? So the sets would be so for example, the entire time that you're lifting the weight before you put it back down, okay? Don't know why I couldn't think of that, okay? And then the reps are going to be the amount of times you're lifting that weight up and down within that set, and then you can have a certain amount of sets within the workout, right? So the wave load, you have one wave is comprised of a combination of sets and reps, and then you go on to a successive wave and you manipulate either the load, the reps, or both, depending on the protocol. Now, there's three primary ways to do a wave load, and then after I get done talking about that, I'm going to talk about my variation of a wave load, which I found actually to be helpful. I do it a couple times a year, and the reason why I do it as opposed to the reason why maybe they're doing it here. Okay, so the first traditional wave loading is where you will, after you warm up to about 85% of your 1 rep max for whatever your exercise that you're doing is, then what you're going to do is within that you're going to have 3 sets, right? And each set is going to be progressively increasing in weight and reps. So from 85, 95, or so maybe you're like at 85%, 90%, 95%, right? It'll be maybe you're doing 3 reps, 2 reps, 1 rep, right? And then you're going to rest 3 to 5 minutes, and you're going to add maybe 10 to 20 pounds onto each of those numbers. Try to do it again, right? And then see if you can get 3 of these waves in there. And what this basically does is takes advantage of something called post-tetanic potentiation, which postulates that if you are lifting a heavier weight, like a maximal weight, then in that brief couple minutes span after you do that, you're actually going to be, your muscles and your nervous system is going to be primed to lift a really heavy weight after that. And by lifting these lighter or shorter rep ranges, you're trying to help not fatigue the muscle before you get to that highest load. And by having those rest periods in between, it also helps as well to kind of help basically take advantage of this potentiation without fatiguing the muscle. However, in traditional wave loading, you still do come into this problem of maybe your nervous system's all hyped up, but the muscles are too fatigued and depleted of energy to actually go then and do that thing that you're trying to lift, that maximal load that you're trying to do. So another variation of this would be something called ladders. And with ladders, instead of trying to increase the load while you're doing it, you're merely increasing the reps during the set. Okay, so you'll do more sets, but trying to increase the reps, right? So for example, let's say you're doing squats or something. You're doing like 300 pounds or whatever, and you do 1 rep on the first set, 2 reps on the second set, and so the load isn't changing, but you're trying to add more reps in there. 3 reps on that third set, 4 reps on the fourth set, and you keep on going up and up and up. And if you start fatigue, you take a little rest, then you go in there and you try to do some more. But basically, with a ladder, you just keep on going up and up and up until you can't do another one, and then that's where the set stops. And that's what I forgot to mention in the first one where I was talking about with the traditional wave loading, basically you keep on going up and up and up, and as soon as you fail, that's when the workout's done. You don't keep on doing more sets or anything, back off sets. You basically just climb, 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 climb. As soon as you hit failure, that's when the workout's done. Same thing with the ladder. You just keep on adding more reps using the same load, and just keep on adding more reps to it, and until you hit that failure point. This can actually be helpful for keeping, reducing stress to the knees while increasing stress on the muscles, which is ultimately what we want. We don't want to overly stress out your joints, but we do want to maximize the stress on the muscles so that they cause them to grow and get stronger, bigger and stronger. All right, so the third method is something called the wave load, or wave ladder, which is a hybrid between the two. So in a wave ladder, what you're going to do is you're going to keep all the reps the same in a particular wave, just as you would have with the regular ladder, right? Where you're just keeping everything the same, right? But then in the following wave, you're going to increase the load. So whereas in a regular ladder, you just keep on increasing reps, in a wave ladder, in the second wave, you are actually going to increase the amount of load that you are lifting while trying to, again, increase those reps. So maybe it's 1 rep, 2 rep, 3 rep, 4 rep, and then in the next one, you add 10 to 20 pounds, 1 rep, 2 rep, 3 rep, 4 rep, and keep on going in that fashion until you hit that failure point. And so this was trying to kind of get around that thing of the undue fatigue that was incorporated in those other two methods, right? Now, my method of wave loading, and I don't know if you can rightly even call it wave loading, but I decided, actually to do this video because I was doing something like this and it reminded me of traditional wave loading protocols, is something where you will actually warm up, you do that heavier set, maybe you're doing 3 to 5 reps with a set, right? And then you back off from that and maybe reduce the weight by like 10 to 20% depending on if you're doing an upper body, lower body movement, and crank out a few reps at a lighter weight, and then go back, add more weight back on the bar, back to where you were again, and do another heavy set, back off, do a pump up set, and then do another heavy set again. Now, for whatever reason, I haven't had the time to look into the science on this or anything, but for whatever reason, I find that I'm actually able to do more than if I just did, like, say, a 5x5, where every set was 5 reps, right? That I'm actually able to lift more. So, for example, maybe I get stuck at 5 and I can't go and do another set of 5, like a 5 rep max, or whatever I was trying to do, right? I'm too tired to do it, but if I back off and do a lighter set, for whatever reason, when I go back to that same weight, I'm able to lift it again, and sometimes as many as 3 to 4 more sets of that weight, simply by undulating back and forth between the higher reps and the lower reps. I'm not sure exactly why that is. If I get a chance to go and study that out, I might make a video explaining the science behind that. For any of you guys in here who have experienced a similar thing, or have the scientific reasoning behind that, feel free to add that in the comments below. I'd appreciate having access to that information. That would be great. But for now, that's pretty much what I wanted to say on that. Now, the last thing I do want to say, though, is before closing this out, is one of the reasons why you might use this protocol is that when you are training, well, a lot of times, like a newer lifter, right? You'll see that after, maybe around the 2nd or 3rd month, all of a sudden their numbers start jumping up drastically. And a lot of this is attributed to just because their nervous system has become more efficient at recruiting all the muscle fibers to act in unison and cooperation with each other, rather than in this staccato pattern that typically happens, right? The other thing is that they're just more comfortable with how to do the technique for doing the movement. And so a lot of your gains can be attributed to that. And then I would say also another reason for this increase in strength is because your body is also become more efficient at delivering fuel to the muscles in an efficient manner. So what I mean by this is that you might have noticed, I noticed this, like if I'm really busy and I can't train a lot and I'll have a back off and then I come back into training, I'll notice that I will have a lot, like I'll do a set, I'll run out of gas, and then all of a sudden I'll have a rebound where, oh, I have energy, I can go back and do it again, right? Whereas the longer I train, the more consistently I'm training, I can do more reps and lift heavier weight in that set and stuff than I could when I was in the beginning. I don't have this rebound effect. And this is because my body has become very efficient at delivering the nutrients to the muscles, so I get all the energy all in one burst, all in a very steady manner. It's not like dying out and then all of a sudden another wave comes in later on, because my body's adapted and it's very efficient at doing that. So a good time to do this sort of thing might be, if you're coming in after a layoff from lifting, to help you kind of get back up to speed a little bit more quickly than just doing standard protocols of like 5x5s and or like 3 to 4 sets of 8 to 12 reps, depending on your training style. So guys, that's what I got to say today. Hopefully you found some of this information interesting, potentially useful in your own lifting journey. If you liked the video, hit that like button there, and if you'd like to see more content like this, be sure to hit the subscribe button in the lower right hand corner of the screen, right there, somewhere around there. I'll get better at my pointing on the camera here. But yes, if you'd like to see more content related to recovery from injuries, preventing those injuries to begin with, nutrition related to workouts, and actually how to build more muscle, get stronger, micronutrient supplements, things like that, consider subscribing to the channel, and we will see you all next time for more health and fitness related information. Thank you all for watching.